Madridistas. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Be Real podcast. And today it's me and Javier. Today we are 10 days into the World Cup. There have been some upsets, there have been some amazing games, and we have a lot more amazing games coming up. Our goal today is to predict the games coming up, see what the roads to the quarterfinals, the semifinals, the finals, and even predict who will win the World Cup based on the form from the last 10 games. And let's just get into it. But before that, a little bit of housekeeping. Hi, Javier. How are you today?
Everything good, Jadu. I'm glad to be here, joining you in this madness of World Cups,
Yeah, man.
but not so madness, like results here and there. But I think we all expect to these groups to look like this until this point. You know, Nothing that crazy has happened. Could potentially happen, but not
Mhm.
at
Yeah,
this moment.
a lot could happen, a lot could change. But as things stand, it's been more or less what we expected. Some of our predictions have been on point. Some of our predictions have gone completely out of the window. But yeah, we are here. We're still going through, and we'll get to it in a minute. Let me just check everything with the stream. We're all good. We're live, and we have viewers in the chat. Lovely. All right. Now, let's get into the groups first, see how they stand. Let's get right into Group A. You can see it on the screen, I think now. Group A, Netherlands, Senegal, Ecuador, and Qatar. Now, this group, everything's finished. We're on our way. Netherlands and Senegal are both have both made it into the quarterfinals. Nothing too unexpected there. Our predictions in the first week were that these two will make it out of the group stages. Senegal have looked amazing today. Netherlands still keeping on strong as ever, and they've made it comfortably into the quarters. Anything to add, Javier?
I mean, we all expect, Netherlands to go through,
Mhm.
and almost everyone said they're gonna finish first. I think the doubt was between Senegal and Ecuador, and if you remember the first game, uh, the first game of the World Cup, we saw a very good Ecuador,
Mhm.
and then they make a great game against Netherlands, and today uh, they weren't that looking after the result like Senegal, and Senegal deserves to pass. So it's nothing more to add. Qatar is the first World Cup host to end without a win.
Yeah, Qatar
So
had a stinker there as the host. 0 points, scored one, and got seven scored against them. So, not ideal, not fun, but it is what it is. We
yeah.
expected a little bit, let's say, more from Qatar, given all the news that they've been training behind closed doors for about 3 months or so, which is crazy.
And the process was the manager and everything. They start this World Cup preparation 12 years ago. So probably not for us, but for them, it's a huge disappointment because they, as a host, is gonna be remembered as until this point, the worst host ever. You know,
mm,
so they're gonna have to carry on that mark for I don't know how many years.
till the end of time, probably. Yeah.
Yeah,
And Sunaid is in the chat saying Qatar get battered everywhere they go. Kind of sad, but actually true.
yeah.
It is what it is, though. Moving on to Group B, we have England qualifying in the first spot, much to the joy of a lot of English fans, and moreover to the joy of the English media. We've heard a lot of things being said about them, especially after the draw
Yeah,
against USA. No losses though. They go through strong contenders, strong favorites for winning the World Cup, as some people say. And USA in the close second spot. Their game against Iran today showed why they deserve to go through. Iran surprisingly in the third spot,
yeah,
outclassing Wales, who end up with 1 point. Probably the last game. I mean, probably the last World Cup and the last match in the World Cup for Gareth Bale. Kind of sad about that, but the Wales that showed up deserved the thrashing that they got. Let's just put it that way. Yeah,
yeah. They play
Javier, thoughts about
hard.
your neighbors, the USA, and about Wales and how they showed up.
Yeah, I mean, where to start? No, England deserves to be first
Mhm.
for sure, and they look impressive versus Iran in the first game. As I said, like they have like seven different attackers. In the second game, they knew they play with the calculator. They know that if they win against Iran and against Wales, it doesn't matter the game against USA, and they knew that, and they play absolutely nothing. They play to get a zero and nothing
Mhm.
more.
Mhm.
And USA, on the other hand, start a little, doubtful against Wales. They start winning, and then Wales equalizer,
Mhm.
and then a result positive for them. A tie against England is positive for the USA. And today they play like we can score one and lock the park the bus. So a little risky, I would say,
Mhm.
but at the end, huge results for them. And I think both teams only played to do what was necessary. Nothing more, nothing less.
Mm.
I think the only worry that USA should have is that I think Pulisic is injured, so maybe we can expect a medical report
Mm.
sometime soon
Mhm.
to know what's the injuries, because he's the main man for the US.
Yeah, man.
They,
Captain America is their beacon and everything for them. So it's kind of sad the way he was, let's say, manhandled in today's game. But it's not
yeah,
to be unexpected because he keeps running into those spaces that are occupied by a lot of players. So it was bound to happen. It happened to Neymar, but we'll get to that group in a minute. But USA hopes that Captain America is back to firing form at the earliest. We move on to the next group, and this is where things get a little tricky, so to
yeah,
speak. Group C has Poland in the first place, Argentina in the second place, Saudi in the third, and Mexico in the fourth. Now we've been talking in the group chat,
yeah,
Javier, about how the Mexican team is being received by the media in Mexico.
yeah.
We'll talk about Mexico first. How is the team handling it? How are the media handling it? How are the fans handling where they are right now?
I mean, there. That's the thing, Jadu. It seems like complete opposites.
Mm,
The team, uh, starting with Martino, they are confident. Like, oh, we still have possibilities, and we uh, we're gonna play to win, and we're gonna play our football, and so on. And all the players seem so confident on themselves. Then you have the media. The media doesn't trust our players because, as a fans, I have to admit that I don't have any confidence in these guys.
mm,
Where I think only two teams in this World Cup has zero goals. and we are one of them. So we need goals, not only to win against Saudi Arabia. We need to win by a margin. So the confidence in the team is not the same, and we are not feeling it as a fans and the media. No, the media is almost saying like uh, they're trashing Martino, and I trash Martino because there's no reason uh, for him to be there.
Mm.
But as at this point, my heart says Mexico still has chances, but my brain says no. My brain says even that I want, we probably don't deserve. And maybe if we deserve to go out in the group stages for the first time in God knows how much, I think 30, 35 years or so.
Oh, wow.
Good.
Yeah, that's pain right there. Sunil says in the chat that Jimenez doesn't look anywhere near being fit and that there's no focal point in the Mexican front line.
I talked about this prior to the World Cup to start.
Mhm.
We don't have goal as is not from these past games. Probably for all of the world can see now that Mexico has no goal. But
Mm.
us as Mexicans, we know that for a long time, maybe since Chicharito, we don't have goal.
Yeah,
So
that's a big problem.
uh, that being a fact, why do you bring Raúl Jiménez? He's a legend. He's a very good player, but he's no way near his feet. And I guess I said we have the other Jimenez, the one that starts with a G, in his house, declaring proposal to his now to be wife, and he's
Sure.
like, like this. He's a gentleman. It's like I support Mexico, but I think he's in his heart is like, fuck you, Tata, and because that it seems like it. So I think I saw a very worrying stat,
Mhm.
since Chucky Lozano's goal against Germany in the last World Cup, none, and I mean none of the football players that start in this World Cup, those 20 players, because I don't count the goalkeepers, no one
Sure.
has scored a goal. No one. They don't know how to score goals. Raúl Jiménez is not has never scored a goal in a World Cup.
Mm.
So tomorrow they're gonna score 4 times? Yeah, probably. It's a probability, a very low one. So I don't expect nothing for them, you
Mm.
know, but probably it's gonna be for me like expect nothing, and everything will be,
Will be all
a
right.
work
Yeah.
of uh,
Let's hope things change. Let's hope we see some goals because those are some really really worrying stats. Now talking about some not so worrying facts, we had a big upset in terms of Saudi Arabia overcoming Argentina and putting a question mark in the minds of a lot of fans about a team that has been considered favorites. Saudi Arabia just overturned Argentina, just hammered them down to a T, and picked up 3 points to end up in the third place in Group C so far. They could go through. It
they could
looks
potentially end first, Lalu.
they could, yeah. They could potentially end first and go through, which doesn't look unlikely, but their performance following the one after Argentina has looked shaky, and perhaps they show up as the team that beat Argentina or as the team that lost against Poland. Anything could happen in this group,
Yeah,
but then moving quickly on to Argentina. Argentina in the World Cup is a team that's a favorite. That doesn't matter the form of the team itself. The fans are always optimistic. Argentina sitting pretty in second place. Sitting, I say sitting pretty, but it's a shaky branch that they're sitting on. It could topple any time. Argentina
Yeah.
could go out in the group stage itself, or the group leaders right now, Poland with 4 points, they could do a madness.
If Poland wins, you know,
Mhm.
if somehow Poland wins, or even tie, this could change the whole group.
Yeah.
So if Saudi Arabia shows us how to beat Argentina,
Mm.
Mexico show Poland how not to beat Argentina.
Sure.
You know,
Yeah.
and Poland doesn't have a goal stroke. They have Lewandowski.
Mm.
You know, if they somehow manage to do the same, uh, reasoning that Mexico has, but they have a goal scorer, they could potentially do it because I saw the two games and
Mhm.
Argentina is still favorite, and I think they're gonna go through. But
Same.
it
Yeah.
doesn't seem that scary, you know. Prior to the World Cup, there are one or two or even three in the pool to win the tournament. Now they still are candidates, but
Mm.
I don't think they're even. I think they're like five or six spot. So this Argentina is not that scary, and
Mm.
Poland depend on themselves. So I mean, those two games are gonna be expect. I expect
Fireworks. Yeah.
a really close games,
Mhm.
and hopefully the ones that go through are the ones that deserve. You know, everything. Nor even Mexico. No team has deserved. You know, like this outperform their rivals,
Mm.
like the Netherlands did, or like even England did. I think none of these has outperformed, and there goes the line that anything can happen in week three. So hopefully it's gonna be Mexico, and for me, I would love to go Saudi Arabia, but it's not possible for us to qualify and also Saudi Arabia. So maybe Poland and Mexico would be my like my
The
my
dream.
prediction. It's based on my willingness, not my
It's an
like
emotionally charged decision in Group C. Let's see what happens because it's a group of upsets. Anything could happen in just 2 games. Moving on quickly to Group D, France sitting on top with 6 points. Nothing unexpected there. Well, unexpected. We did hope to see some drama. We did expect to see some uh, champions curse. Nothing of the sort came up. France sitting beautifully on top, and Australia just had their first win in a World Cup in 12 years. So that's absolutely sensational. Then we had it's a group of draws, more or less. There's Denmark and Tunisia both sitting with 1 point each. Now France have had 6 goals, nothing unexpected there, and 2 goals scored against them. We had Junaid earlier in the chat saying Xiaomeni has the highest pass completion rate, 97% among midfielders with minimum 100 passes at the World Cup. He's also the player with the most combined tackles and interceptions among midfielders with 13. Now that is absolutely amazing because let's face it, as a Real Madrid podcast, that's absolutely everything I wanted from Xiaomini, for Xiaomini, for France. Uh, well, let's just put it this way: they haven't been missing Kante and Pogba the way that they thought they would, which is amazing in itself. Farouk is in the chat. Hi, Farouk, and Farouk says Giroud for Golden Boot. Might just happen. He's the best-looking man on the pitch, and he pretty much always is, and he might go down in history as the best striker. Bad news for Benzema. Based on the reports, he's not with the French team anymore. Also, the rumors say, and as Sunaid said, I guess Deschamps sent Karim home to make Giroud happy. It is what it is. Benzema's not at 100% firing form, while Giroud looks like the man in the box. For France, they're
Yeah.
very much a title contender. We had somebody else in the chat say, I see France or Brazil go through till the end. Been very
Yeah.
impressed with both teams so far. Anything to
I
add in
mean,
Group D, Javier?
I nothing much. I think France surprised us because
Hmm.
we all think that they're gonna
Something might happen, but nothing happened. It was
blow.
just been
Like they're going.
boringly regular from France.
Yeah, I think Deschamps said like, no, we don't need Benzema because it's game three of the group stages. If they need Karim in I don't know quarterfinal, semifinal, and they can call him, they're gonna call him. You know, it's like I don't. I think Deschamps is doing what is best for the group now, but a lot can change in the next 10 days or so. So if the FIFA allowed Deschamps or and France national team to bring Karim back and Karim is fit, I think they're gonna do it. They're not saying so because there's no need until this point. But imagine this, Giroud has an injury and Karim is fit, they're gonna
Hmm.
call him. Or even if he's not, they're gonna call him still. So I I still expect to France and first and then Denmark. So
France first
yeah,
and
I know
Denmark second.
my microphone is still echo, but I cannot change it at this moment.
No, it is what it is. Sinead says, I think they didn't call another player to leave the door open for Kareem's return. It might be true because stranger things have happened. This particular scenario is not too strange to put it out of the picture. Let's just put it that way. Australia could go through, which would be sensational for them, but Denmark looked like a tough opposition. They only have 1 point, but every time they played, they've looked dangerous, unable to capitalize on some occasions, but it's Denmark, so then you still have some hope that Denmark might just end up in the second place, just above Australia. Tunisia, underdogs of the competition, have remained underdogs, but Tunisia of late have been properly playing ball, as Farouk had the genius to put in the group shot. Do we predict an upset with Tunisia going through, Javier? Any thoughts?
No, no, I don't think so. I think the the game. What's the game? It's like Australia against Tunisia, right? Or what are the next games?
Australia against Denmark, Tunisia against
Australia
France.
versus Denmark. And
If
okay,
Tunisia pull out a big win, and
so we don't see until this point nothing that exciting for Denmark, but I still think they're gonna go through. You know,
mm,
it's it's almost like
they're
they're
one of
gonna
those
do it.
teams that finally come in clutch when it matters the most. It's
Yeah, it's
looked
like
like that.
almost like USA today. It's like
Mm,
they know what they need to be done and they're gonna do it.
fair enough. Fair enough. We'll get to our
Yeah.
predictions in a second. Sunay says Tunisia never gonna win. Yeah, well, it looks like it. But they end up with 1 point instead of zero, which is better than Qatar. So maybe there's something in that. Asian champions and that, nothing really worked out for them. Now, moving on to my favorite group and my least favorite group altogether, Group E, where things look precarious. Japan sitting beautifully in the first spot with 6 points. No, is
No,
this.
that's wrong.
Oh, there has
I
to
think you
be.
have wrong answer.
Aha,
Because Japan lost against Costa Rica.
that's actually
It's all
true.
the way around. 1-0. So it's
Japan.
Spain first.
Oh, there you go. Okay, it's adjusted now. Spain first, Japan second, Costa Rica third, and
Japan.
Germany sitting at the bottom.
Yeah.
Now this is a group where anything can happen again, which is kind of weird because we didn't predict that this group would go this way. Javier, could you mute for a second? Because I'm getting a lot of echo now. All good, thank you. Yeah. So this is one group where we thought it would be a lot straightforward. Germany having an absolute stinker to end up with just 1 point, which is a hard fought draw against Spain, which we did a watch along, which I did a painful watch along to, just to see Germany do pretty much nothing. They don't look like a team that can string together a bunch of passes to make anything happen. Musiala has been the only bright spot there. Um, Spain, on the other hand, have been stunning to say the least. They put seven past Costa Rica. They put one past Germany. They might have put more past Germany, but if not for the amazing performances from the fullbacks from Germany, Spain, top spot, 4 points, 8 goals, four and one goal against, and Japan in second spot with 3 points. The 2-0 win against Germany. Costa Rica also with 3 points, but in third place because of goal difference, because of all the goals that Japan scored against them, and Germany depressingly at the bottom. Everything could change in 2 games. Germany could come back to claim second spot, or Japan and Costa Rica could go through. Spain and Germany, or Germany and Spain, anything could happen in this group. Thoughts, Javier?
I'm here with you. You know, I think we are the only two guys that talk well uh, for Germany. Um, I mean, still, if you watch the games against Japan, was very hard. You know,
Mm.
because they dominate the whole game,
They
and to
had their
counter attack.
tactics ready. They
Yeah,
had everything on point.
and the game against Spain was a very close game, well deserved tie.
Mhm.
So uh, Germany needs the Japan doesn't do well
Mhm.
against Spain.
Yeah,
You know, a tie of Japan is the end of Germany, and Germany they're gonna go full attack. You know, I
they
think
have to
that
go all out against Costa Rica
the
if they want to
surprise,
have any chance of going through.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah,
the surprise in this game and in this group, sorry, I would say was the the game of Japan against Costa Rica because
mm,
I don't I wasn't expecting something of Costa Rica, and the game was very hard to watch, and the result was, you know, a surprise, an error, I would say so, for the goalkeeper of Japan. So
mhm.
probably um, Japan will be in much better position as it right now. So uh, I think Spain is gonna go first,
Yeah,
and
they look like a team
I
that's
still think Germany is gonna have the potential to to win against Costa Rica,
yeah.
and and doesn't have to. You know, Spain has nothing to prove, but they're gonna win either way against Japan because they seem better than I was expecting. You know, this Spain is boring as hell,
Yeah.
but it's effective.
It's a system that's worked for them for years and years with all the tiki taka passing that's been going on since the beginning of time. And Spain sitting pretty on top. The only problem with Germany is that their fate is just not in their own hands. It doesn't matter if they do everything they can against Costa Rica, it also depends on the game. Spain versus Japan, which we'll get to in a minute. So there's a lot to talk about in those games there. Group F, on the other hand, surprise leaders in Belgium, at least surprise for me. Uh, we need to talk about all the problems that Belgium have, the press reports that have come out, players against each other, players leaking the news, and then Courtois at the end saying whoever leaked the news will never play for Belgium again. Wild stuff from Belgium. Apparently, the soap opera crown has been passed from France to Belgium, which is wild, weird, and altogether unsettling because this is the last chance that their so-called golden generation can do anything, and they seem to be doing on the football pitch up to expectations, off the football pitch completely in disarray.
Yeah,
Group
the
F
group
and
of
Belgium.
the table for Group F is wrong
Oh.
because Morocco has a win against Belgium. So Belgium has no 6 points. They win against Canada 1-0
Mhm.
and they lose against Morocco. So it should be Croatia first with 4 points.
I took
Then
this from okay. Oh,
I'm not
Morocco put two against Belgium. Yeah, I actually
Croatia, Morocco is 0-0.
looked at
Belgium,
the
Canada is 1-0 for Belgium.
yeah
Morocco beat Belgium 2-0.
yeah. I looked at
And
the FIFA.
Croatia beat.
I'm looking at the FIFA website. I thought
Yeah.
I filled it out from there, but apparently I got something
I
wrong.
think you only miss, put. I think just you put the two in Belgium and not in Morocco. I will think.
Ah, okay. So I flipped it the other way around while entering
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
There you go. All right. So I take it back. I take it back because Belgium
yeah.
doesn't look
They
so
need to.
pretty anymore. They need a win. Surprise in Morocco with 4 points.
Yeah, Belgium need to win against Croatia, so it's not that easy. It's not easy. We saw what Croatia did to Canada.
Actually, true. Yeah,
So I think this is the end for the golden generation, the
it
so-called golden
could
generation.
very well be. Sunaid says KDB versus Courtois, UFC 350. It might actually happen given how honest the Belgian players are. You might end up with that behind closed doors or even in the big stages, Sunaid. So fingers crossed for a UFC match between KDB and Courtois. I think Courtois takes it, by the way, because he has all the height advantage. But anyway, that's straying away from the topic. So yeah,
And
Croatia.
Canada
Yes,
is
Javier.
Canada is already out, so they
Mhm.
don't have to. But they play good football. I say so.
It's actually
It's a
much
very
better than
good.
I thought.
Yeah.
Especially Alfonso Davies has been sensational. I told it before
Uh,
and I'll say it again. I want him for Real Madrid, but Bayern will not part with him.
yeah, yeah. So sorry for that. I think if only we can, like something like this guy deal, like Tony Cross deal, like the
Yeah.
end of the contract or so. But I think Canada will go and give them full potential, and
Mhm.
probably just not to upset Morocco, just to have a win in a World Cup. In I think it will be their first win ever for Canada if they win.
Mhm.
So they still have this motivation, and this could somehow help a very mediocre Belgium because
Mhm.
uh, Croatia has the potential to win it, but we saw that it's fragile in the defense.
Mhm.
So if Belgium somehow has this urgency and then Canada plays a very good game against a Morocco that also has the potential to go through the group stages, you know, I mean, I love these groups, like when everything can happen. And for me, I think the only one that at this point deserves to pass, I will say, is Croatia. I might be
Mhm.
biased for our girl Doris, but I think what they did against Canada was very good,
Actually,
and
true.
and probably I will back Morocco to pass as well because this Belgium is boring. They have a lot of troubles,
Yeah.
and they only go by their name. You know.
Mhm. Yeah, like Sunaid said in the chat, the PR hype surrounding Belgium is good, but that's the only thing that they have going for them.
Yeah.
Oh, let me just adjust the scores here. All right. So in Group G, Sunaid's favorite group, it's Brazil first, Switzerland second, Serbia third, and Cameroon fourth with 0 point. Oh no, with one. Wait, no. Cameroon Serbia ended in a draw, right? Yeah,
Yeah. 3-3. I think.
yeah. Big scoring game. Did absolutely amazing. Cameroon and Serbia with 1 point each. Switzerland with a win and a loss, and Brazil with two wins. Somebody else was saying in the chat that Brazil have looked sensational. I completely agree. There's no point in disagreeing there. Both Vinicius and Rodrigo have been absolutely amazing. Militao started the last game, put in a solid shift, and Brazil are still my favorites to go through. Switzerland also look to be going through without any trouble. The Serbian and the Cameroon team, although high scoring, do we expect a lot out of them at this point? Is the next question. Given that the games coming up are Serbia versus Switzerland and Cameroon versus Brazil, will we see an upset there, or is it just normal life as ever for Brazil and Switzerland?
I mean, I expect Serbia to win.
Mhm.
I I think they're playing a little better than Switzerland,
Ah,
just a
interesting.
little better. And I expect Brazil to go full potential. You know, they're the only team. That's probably the only reason that Brazil has so many fans around the world. That Brazil is the only team that doesn't know how to play to
Boring football, you
for,
know?
for to
Yeah.
gain the point. They play to
Mhm.
win every time, and they play to score as many goals as they can. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it's not, but they play. This game against Switzerland. If you saw this game, like uh, Brazil deserves to to go like 2 or 3 goals ahead, and and I didn't expect, this good Serbia. I think
Mhm.
only Doris say that this Serbian group is strong, and after watching these two games, especially the second against Cameroon, it was a very exciting game. One of probably the most exciting games to watch as a neutral fan,
Mm.
and I think if Serbia goes full potential, they can not easily, but they could beat Switzerland. So for me, it's Brazil, of course, first,
Mhm.
and then I will probably think Serbia has the potential to go through with 4 points.
Yeah, Mitrovic scoring like it's every day. And Richarlison, I'm saying it right now, it might just actually be the goal of the tournament. Richarlison show, absolutely sensational. Moving on to the final group, it's Portugal, who are already qualified, and Ghana, South Korea, and Uruguay competing for a spot at the World Cup in the next stage. Uruguay haven't been looking their best. The mix of young and old players, which I thought would be a good thing, finally doesn't look like it. The team looks imbalanced. The substitutions seem to be making a difference, but they come in too late. to change anything. South Korea and Ghana fighting it out uh, phenomenally. Another high scoring match, but Ghana just edged out a victory. They wanted it more. The South Korea defense had a nightmare against Ghana, and it showed. Yeah, Javier, about the last group.
I mean, another group that has potentially three. All the media that I'm hearing that they are ruling out South Korea. I don't know why. You know,
Hmm.
I I I think they don't watch the games. You know, because if you watch a game against South Korea, I'm sorry, against Uruguay was a well-deserved tie, and the game against Ghana was it could go either way. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
South
It was a
Korea
very
came back
tight game.
at 2-0, and
Hmm.
they almost beat Ghana. But uh, Uruguay is like you said, Jadu, it's a huge disappointment until this point. Once again, we're talking about until this point
Hmm.
because Uruguay has the potential to win against Ghana. Yeah, probably. And but also, I would say think that South Korea has the potential to to go and play good against Portugal.
Hmm.
So that being said, I think the most exciting game of this next, I think this is Friday, but all the remaining games, I was um, not aware of the fact that if you remember the 2010 World Cup,
Hmm.
Jadu,
Yeah.
you know the game when they sent off Luis Suarez
Oh, yes.
for you
Aha,
know
Uruguay versus Ghana will be a spicy affair altogether, given the history, given everything that it means for both Uruguay and Ghana about this World Cup. If Suarez pulls out either a good performance, which is unexpected from him, or he pulls off one of his shenanigans, and if it puts Uruguay through and Ghana out, I don't know what will happen with the world.
yeah I think this is a very spicy condiment for this group and this game
Mhm.
because we don't expect to Uruguay has 0 goals and 1 point in 2 games.
Yeah,
You know,
that's bad.
we I think in our predictions we put Uruguay in the semifinals.
Actually,
So
true. I thought Fede Valverde would be scoring screamers left, right, and center.
in the defense of our boy, he has I think two shots against the crossbar.
He
I
did, but
I
this is what I
think
don't get
one
about
against.
the. This is what I don't get about the Uruguay team. Fede Valverde is forced to play a lot deeper than he should. You know, did
Yeah,
he hit the post twice in the last game?
I think one in against Korea and one against Portugal.
Wow.
He has one shot, potential goal of the tournament per game. I said it in our chat. You remember that even though Uruguay and Mexico has the same points and same goal scorer, so 1 point and 0 goals,
Hmm.
I still think this Uruguay feels better because they create chances. They have Fede Valverde, they have Darwin Nunez, they have Cavani, Suarez, and so they have the potential to score goals. So in in a game of win or go home, I would rather support Uruguay than Mexico. And and that being said, I think Uruguay is gonna win against Ghana,
Mhm.
but I think Portugal and South Korea are gonna tie.
Hmm. Well, it might actually happen. There's a high chance, and
That being said,
then
Portugal is amazing. We talk about that if the group was not with Cristiano or so, blah blah blah. There are words. Bruno Fernandes is being probably the player of the tournament
oh,
until this
absolutely,
point.
yeah. Bruno's been sensational. He's been showing his quality in every sort of the game. He's been controlling it. He's been scoring. He's been scoring screamers at that. And yeah, man, there's nothing wrong or there's nothing bad to say about Bruno and the way he's been showing up in the World Cup. Even more than Cristiano, he's been the talisman for the team, and they seem to depend on him. He scored two in the last game to give them, to assure them, to guarantee them a spot in the next round. Talking about the next round, let's quickly get into predictions. The games coming up tomorrow on the 30th. First, we have the games from Group D. As you said earlier, Javier, Australia versus Denmark and Tunisia versus France. Let's talk about Australia versus Denmark. Will we see Australia progressing, having another win after a very long time? It's a much awaited campaign for them. Or do you think that Denmark, with their quality, will finally be able to pull through?
I I think this is the end of the Cinderella story for Australia, and I think Denmark is gonna win because
Mm.
they need to. And I'm sorry for our soccer rules, but I don't I don't see even a tie. I
Mm.
think Denmark is gonna win like something like 3-1 or so.
Interesting. All right, let me put that in. Australia
So
scoring
do
one.
you think the same that Australia has no chance?
I think Australia has some chance, but Denmark want it more.
Yeah.
Australia has shown a lot of quality. They've shown a lot of promise. They will definitely try their best, but Denmark, I think, will finally just come out on top. The other game happening at the same time is Tunisia versus France. Does Tunisia have any chance against France? I think probably not.
No.
They want it, but France just seem to be insurmountable. We talked about player of the tournament, and it might just be Chamini, the way that he's been playing in this tournament. Absolutely amazing. Best midfielder in the tournament. Even the stats say it. So then this won't be a thrashing because I think the French national team will probably look to play it safe and might just end
I
up
think I expect to rest some players.
exactly. Yeah.
So I think this is gonna be the debut of our boy Eduardo
Hmm.
and a few. I think they're gonna start Coleman or so. So
Yeah.
probably not that a big difference, but I think uh, probably 2-0.
Yeah, I was thinking the same.
Yeah.
France 2, Tunisia 0, Tunisia going out. The next set of games is Poland, Argentina, and Saudi Arabia, Mexico. What are some realistic results here, Javier? Ideally, ideally, you want Mexico to put a bunch past Saudi Arabia, learn from their game, learn from the game against Poland, and see them do their very best. And hopefully,
Ideally, Poland wins and Mexico wins. In in my ideal world of fantasy, but realistically speaking, I don't see that happening. I don't
mm,
see Argentina losing two games in a group stage.
yeah, true.
So
I think it'll be like a 3-1 with all goals coming after the 70th minute because that's been a recent trend with both of these teams. It's
yeah,
been late goals and it's been defenses trying their best to keep them at bay and then tiring out by the 70th minute and then the goals start pouring in. So yeah, I would say a 3-1.
that will.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oh, sorry.
so
Nope.
and
There
I
you
was
go.
like, yeah, what will you do?
Yeah, for our audio listeners, I just put Poland 3, Argentina 1, and then Javier got excited. The last game from tomorrow, or the other game happening parallelly, is Saudi Arabia versus Mexico. Do you see finally some goals from Mexico?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think they're gonna score, but is not gonna be enough. So probably I will say either 1-0
Mhm.
or 1-1. So
Ooh.
I will give you the the voting. Or if you think Saudi Arabia can win, you can.
No, I think Mexico definitely wants it more and that they look into.
I'm not sure if they wanted more, Jadu. I even the media is saying that tomorrow
Mhm.
there's gonna be a lot more fans of Saudi Arabia just because they're nearby.
In a
So
World Cup, that's mad.
yeah, big bet, but there's like I don't know what's the distance between Saudi Arabia and Qatar, but I think it's close enough, and
It's
they're motivated. They could potentially go through. So
yeah,
yeah,
they might actually want it more, and the fans in the stadium cheering them on might just push them over the edge. But
yeah.
for now, let's just leave it like that and move on to Thursday, where
So
I have
if that
heaps of
happens,
fun
it's
for you.
Argentina and Poland, right?
It is, yeah.
Moving on.
Mhm. Yeah, Group C, Argentina, Poland moving through. Group D, France and Denmark moving through.
Okay.
And the next group, my favorite group of all time. Oh no, before that, there's Group F, who have their first game. Croatia facing Belgium. Will Belgium fall apart at the seams? It looks very likely.
Yeah.
And Croatia put four past Canada. Even after going one down in the fourth minute to an Alfonso Davies header, they came back from behind, put four past Canada. It's been looking good for Croatia. Croatia versus Belgium. What are your thoughts, Javier? Remember that Belgium have the best keeper in the world and probably nothing else going for them.
They have the best friend of Sonic. Sonic, if you're watching this, I back your best man,
Yeah, the
But
better Hazard. Yeah.
I, I think no, I think this is the end of the golden generation for Belgium.
Hmm.
So I expect Croatia to win,
Hmm.
like probably 2-1, and I will say the same result, Yadu, for Canada to Morocco. You know, a
Ooh.
Canada win
A Canada
because
win against Morocco. That would mean that Canada finished with 3 points, which is a little bit of a, how do you say this, a consolation for them.
yeah, and still, if these two results happened, I think it's still Morocco's
Yeah.
go through.
Mhm. Croatia and Morocco will go through from Group F. Croatia being the leaders because they deserve it. Their first game looked shaky, the 0-0 against Morocco, not an ideal way to begin the campaign, but they've come back stronger than ever. In Group E, we have the following games: Japan versus Spain and Costa Rica versus Germany at the same time. I think my service provider only gives the Costa Rica versus Germany game here. I'll have to get the other game online. But Japan versus Spain. What do you think, Javier?
Uh, I mean, Japan has the willingness, but I
Do
think
they have the quality to go past
to back it
Spain?
up. No, no.
Mm.
I think Spain is looking solid.
Mhm.
Nothing special, but solid. And in a World Cup, I
It's
mean,
enough. It's enough to get
yeah, yeah.
through.
I'm gonna probably get trashed because I'm saying that it's not exciting a team to win 7-0, but I think yeah, Spain is too much for Japan at this
Mm.
moment in time. You know,
Yeah.
I think Spain is gonna play relax and counter attack, but like this, not like this is insistent counter attack. Like they're gonna play to to pass the 90 minutes, and Japan is gonna hit, a rock.
Yeah. There's
So
also the fact
probably,
that they can just put through tiki taka through the defense, which is what
yeah,
happened against Costa Rica, which is the reason why they were able to score so many goals. It might a repeat might happen against Japan, or Japan might come prepared. Hopefully, for Japan to go through, they need to come prepared with a proper plan, as they did against Germany. But yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't look so
yeah,
likely. Japan might not even score, which would be my prediction. What are your predictions, Javier? I think a zero. I think a 2-0 Spain win is likely on my cards. What are your thoughts?
I, I will say the same difference, but I will say 1-3.
Ooh, okay. Japan scoring one against three from Spain. And Costa Rica, Germany. Germany need a win if they want to do anything about this. And I think Musiala, it's time for Musiala to score. I'm predicting a
Yeah,
4-1 because the German defense, as much as we talk about it, is not as solid as they want it to be.
yeah. But for me, the last game against Spain, I looked very, the partnership between Schule and Rudiger was so
Mhm.
much better.
It
And
is. It,
then the
it keeps
addition of Slaughter
improving.
came
It
out
keep.
better than
Yeah.
starting Slaughter.
Oh, that's actually true. Yeah. The sub
And
game from
Ramos
both
didn't
teams
do
was on point last time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would expect something. I mean, probably I said it. Costa Rica is probably the weakest national team in this the whole tournament for me.
Mhm.
I think so. I would expect something around like 5 or 4-0. I
Wow.
don't think Costa Rica is going to score, even if the defense of Germany doesn't look that great.
Mhm.
But I don't think Costa Rica has anything to do against a needed Germany, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. A desperate Germany. Thomas
Yeah.
Muller hasn't looked his best, but maybe he comes back with a proper goal. Yeah, that would put Spain and Germany through. Spain as the leaders and Germany in second place. Moving on to Friday, it's Serbia versus Switzerland in a game to capture the qualifying place.
Talk about the group H first.
Aha, so that's the game happening first. Ghana versus
Yeah.
Uruguay and South Korea versus Portugal happen first at 4 p.m. Madrid time. Um, Ghana versus Uruguay is the first game on the cards for us. Will Uruguay desperately wanting a win? Do you see them doing something magical against Ghana, who are out for revenge for last time? Or does Ghana see it through and finally go through the group stage?
Uh, what I want is to Fede to score, because we are a Real Madrid fans. But if you ask me in terms of football fan, I would rather see Ghana go through.
It's poetic justice for 2010.
Yeah, not for that, because I think Ghana has done better tournament than Uruguay.
Mm. Yeah, Uruguay
You
have
know,
been dropping stinkers.
yeah, we talked it earlier that they have the potential, but
Probably
somehow
not
they manage to look like
amateur
not
team. Yeah, their mixture has not been good.
in a World Cup. You
Yeah.
know,
Mhm.
this extra step that we said it like this Garra Charrua. We are not seeing it. We are
Yeah.
seeing glimpses of it, but not the full potential. So
Um,
I think uh, my heart say Ghana once again, but my head say Uruguay.
I'll step in and I'll say Ghana win, but Uruguay fight for it and Fede Valverde scores. That's
Yeah,
what I expect.
that
Moving
works
on
for
to
me.
moving on to the next game is South Korea versus Portugal. Portugal are already through. South Korea really want it. Can they get past Portugal? I think not. Just watching their game against Ghana, they had obvious weak sides which Portugal can easily, where Portugal are strong. Huming Son, absolutely amazing. For the rest of the team, bang, average, more or less, at
Yeah.
least. Yeah, at least to me. So I
Yeah.
also predict this to be a close KG affair, but then Portugal will come out on top, I think.
Yeah, I think if I say Argentina doesn't look like a candidate anymore in the top three, I
Mm.
will put Portugal in the top three because they have a very solid defense,
Mhm.
an impressive midfield, and a very good attack. It's not there's no more only Cristiano Ronaldo, and I think he's not even the top player in the attack anymore.
Yeah.
Not in the whole team. In the whole team, I think it has to be Bruno. But if you look around, they have as well Bernardo and Ruben
Mhm.
and Cancelo. They're strong in every line. So for me, Portugal is now with France, Brazil, and then Portugal to win the World Cup,
Wow,
and then Argentina.
that's actually very bold. But yeah, game prediction. I would say,
1-2.
yeah, probably it looks like it because these games have been, let's just say, not too explosive.
Yeah.
Yeah. Serbia versus Switzerland. Serbia for a chance, as you said, Javier, earlier, to go through. And then Cameroon versus Brazil. Let's get the easy one out of the way. Brazil versus Cameroon. Easy Brazil win,
Yeah.
more or less. Vini finally needs to score a good goal. Hopefully, we see it.
Brilliant.
Yeah, Vinny and Rodrigo, of course, but Vinny has been getting closer and closer and closer. He's had some amazing chances. He's created amazing chances. He's been behind that Casemiro banger in the last game, Brazil's 1-0 win against Switzerland.
Yeah, that's
And
a player for Vini to Rodrigo to
to
Casemiro.
Casemiro, it's the Real Madrid connection, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
probably 3-0 for Brazil, I would say, or two.
yeah, I'll put 3-0 because that's what I think will probably happen. Serbia, Switzerland.
Like we said, it's a very close game, but I will put Serbia 2-1.
I agree. Yeah, that's what I had in my mind as well. It's a lot of results like this, a lot of 0-0s, a lot of 1-2s, and the occasional 7-0 and 6-2, even 4-1s. But yeah, that's what our table looks like for now. And round of 16, Netherlands versus USA. Ooh, Netherlands versus USA will be the first game that, I mean, we predict that that will be the first game, Netherlands versus the USA. I would think that
One of
Netherlands
the games that
comfortably get past
it's
USA.
not a prediction. It's a fixed match. It's happening.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, this is a match that has already been decided because the groups A and B are already done. Netherlands
Yeah.
are facing the USA, and I predict Netherlands to easily win against the USA. USA will put up a fight as they always do, but then again, I feel like Netherlands this time around have um, a good attack in Cody Gakpo being the way that he is. He's finishing the chances that he gets. I expect more goals for him.
Yeah. I I will think that the chances of the USA only go through what Pulisic has.
Mm,
If he's out of the tournament or out of the next game, I think USA has no chance.
that's true.
And that being said, I think as well that Netherlands is gonna go through. So what do you think? Like 2-1, something like that?
I think more like a 3-0 because I think the Netherlands. defense is more than up to the task. 2-1, 3-0. Let's make it 3-1
Yeah,
and have it at that. Argentina versus Denmark. Now, this is from our predictions. That's the second game that we predicted. Argentina versus Denmark. I think Argentina, from that point on, will just
yeah,
steamroll their opposition as they're supposed to do.
yeah. I
And
think 2-0. I then in the rounds of knockout, they put the extra gear.
yeah, and Denmark doesn't have the depth that Argentina does. So there you go. Spain versus Morocco should be a comfortable Spain win. I know we're going with the favorites here, but then Spain have looked more stable.
Yeah, and I think round of 16 would be a huge boost for Morocco, but not enough to beat this Spain. So yeah, sorry for Morocco, but I think it's like 2-0,
Yeah,
easy.
I was thinking the same. Brazil versus Ghana. Will Ghana make it out of round of 16 against the favorites to win the World Cup?
No,
I would think probably not. Yeah, no chance.
I think Brazil has the easiest
Route to the
road
final,
to group
maybe.
stages and then the round of 16 until this point, in our
Mhm.
predictions.
Mhm.
A lot can change. It could be Uruguay and would be a completely different match. But
Oh, absolutely. Brazil versus Uruguay would be, I mean, I would pay good money to watch that, but then realistically, I don't see it happening.
yeah, for me, if this happens, Brazil versus Ghana, I will say 4-0 as well.
Yeah, actually true. England versus Senegal, and then
It's
France versus Poland.
the second game that it's already fixed.
Hmm.
This is happening. Yeah.
Yeah, England versus Senegal again with the groups that have all their games ended. We will be watching England versus Senegal on Sunday, and my predictions are that the England team looks on flying form, for lack of better words. England look absolutely sensational. Their substitutions are doing well. The only game that looked like a question mark is the one they had against the USA. But then against Senegal, I expect England to put all of their best players on the pitch, including Phil Foden, which is not something that I thought I would say, and including Jack Grealish, who's been on amazing form. Will Senegal, without money, be able to replicate today's game against South Korea and do something magical? I would predict probably not.
No, I will predict as well that I think today we saw the the top potential of Senegal
Mhm.
against Ecuador, and I don't think there is gonna be good enough to beat England.
I'm predicting a
So
3-0.
I will say one just for the sake. Three was like 3-1, just for the
Ah,
sake Senegal to have a chance.
sure. France versus Poland.
I mean, I think in the same line of Brazil, I don't think Poland has anything.
Has the minerals to get past France. I agree.
Yeah, yeah.
4-1, and we move on to Croatia versus Germany.
The game that will end friendship in this
Yeah, and my
podcast.
friendship with Doris, probably. Yeah.
Our probably because I'm back in Germany. So spoiler alert.
I think that the German team on recent form cannot get past Croatia. I'm being pessimistic here. They're a good team on paper, on the field, not so much. It's quite sad.
But we always say like in the knockout stages, you cannot rule Germany out
Mm-mm-mm.
because there's if any team in the world that knows how to play these knockout stages is Germany.
Yeah, we don't know how to
And
play the group stages.
yeah,
We only know how
they
to play the knockouts.
they
Yeah.
they struggle all the time.
Yeah. Why though? It's mad. Anyway, it's an emotional roller coaster. I want Germany to win, so I'll say 3-2 Germany win. Thoughts, Javier?
Just for making an excitement, how do you feel if we put like 3-3 and penalty shootouts?
That's a
Just
good
to
shout. That's a good shout. Yeah, just to see a penalty shootout in this World Cup.
yeah, and then I expect like probably 2-4,
Yeah, I was thinking
2-4
the same.
Croatia.
Yeah, Germany scoring four, Croatia scoring two, and Germany just edging out a win. Portugal versus Serbia.
Uh, I expect an easy win once again for Portugal. I think they're so much solid than this Serbia squad. So yeah, nothing much to add. I think 3-0 or 3-1
I actually
easy.
think that Portugal will concede more because I think it will be a 3-2 because they'll outscore Serbia, but their defense doesn't look as solid as they want it to be.
Okay.
I think they'll have the same result as they had in which one was the game? Oh, where'd he go? Sorry. Yeah. So they had the 3-2 game against Ghana, right? I think it will
Yeah.
be the same one. It will be the same result. It will be a difficult match for the Portugal fans to enjoy, but at the end they'll win and they'll progress. So there we go. On to the quarterfinals, the bigger games. Netherlands versus Argentina.
Two times they face each other in a World Cup final.
Mhm.
Two times has beat Argentina to Netherlands, and this is not be different. So this is the end for the Netherlands.
Yeah, I think so. Let's say 3-1 Argentina win. So I think that's very likely. There will be some yellow cards though in that match. I can just see it happening. Spain versus Brazil.
Ooh, this game is exciting.
That's an amazing game.
Yeah. The the
Anything could
two most
happen.
the two most different kind of plays, the counter attack per excellence, the yoga bonito
Mhm.
against the tiki taka.
Yeah.
Which one will be more effective?
Wow,
I
anything could happen in this game.
I think uh, the physical part of the game, like Busquets against Paqueta, and I don't think uh, I think Spain has a good 11, but as we saw, they don't have the that strength of the resources on the bench, and
Mm.
Brazil has the
Brazil
potential.
definitely do. Yeah. Busquets versus Casemiro, run it back.
I think in this point, Casemiro is in a better form,
Yeah.
but in Spain we're looking at like a very good Busquets, not like the one that we see in Barcelona.
Mm.
So probably Pedri and Gabi against like uh, Paqueta and Fred or something like that would be an interesting one.
I
But
think
but
Fred
in
has
terms
been
of
on the bench for a couple of matches. But
who,
yeah, Fred has been on the bench
no,
more time.
I think he started yesterday.
Ah, okay.
I think so. But in the attacking
Mm.
is is when the balance has you know all the way to to Brazil.
Mm.
Uh, Dani Olmo has been great. I think Ferran Torres has been decent,
Mhm.
but Vini, Neymar, Rodrigo, Anthony, and
There's so many
Richarlison,
options.
Jesus. I
Yeah.
think that's when Brazil has, unbalanced defense. So I think it's gonna be a very interesting game, and I will predict something like two for Spain, three for Brazil. What do you think?
That's actually a decent shout because I was thinking more of a 3-1 with Spain scoring one in the beginning and then Brazil putting three back. Might just happen.
Yeah,
Yeah, we move on to the next quarterfinal. England versus France. You can't write this. It's one of those matches.
yeah.
What happens here now?
He's not coming home, right?
No, it's not coming home. No, definitely not. Why is it home anyway? I mean, is it the home of football? I don't think so. Anyway, yeah, England versus France. A lot of history there, not just in football, but in the general history of the world. But it doesn't matter here. England versus France. Both teams have a lot of squad depth, a lot of form coming into this World Cup, a lot of well performing young midfielders, a lot of promise. But I think that's the end of the road for England. Heartbreak against France is a perfect way of going out as far as they're concerned, as far as we are concerned, I'd say. And yeah, I'm predicting a 3-1 France win or a 2-1 France win. Let's be realistic. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if you watch the squads, the potential is there.
Mhm.
But if you watch the games, I think Southgate is very not what this England squad needs.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
and the champ is already a World Cup champion. So they believe in him,
Mm,
So I will say, yeah, 2-1, like you said, I think 1-2, right? So
yep.
one for England, two for France.
Yeah, Benzema coming back might just be the feather that we need. Yeah, Germany versus Portugal. This is it for Germany. Like, there's nothing further.
Yeah, I
They,
agree.
yeah, Germany versus Portugal. I mean, they could overcome Portugal, but in this particular way or form, in this particular time, in this particular match, probably not. End of the road for
No,
Germany.
yeah.
0
So uh,
2.
I will say that I think I expect another penalty shootout. So
Mm,
probably if any of these games can potentially happen, I will say this one,
that's true. Yeah.
you know,
Mhm.
and probably like 4-5.
Oh, wow. Yep, 4 or 5. And Portugal going through.
Yeah.
If it gets down to penalties, I don't know if Portugal can score all 5. I don't think Germany can score all 4. So let's be realistic and
If you
say 3
watch
4.
the potential shootout players, they have Cristiano, they have Bruno, uh, they are regular penalty shooters.
Mm,
I don't think Germany past Gundogan has anyone.
no.
I don't expect Gundogan to go to the whole 140 minutes because
Yeah.
let's face it, with the add time, we're
Mhm.
watching games in this moment like 110 minutes long.
Easily, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah, we're gonna watch like games that go for 140 to 150. They will
Mm,
be the end of the players.
that's
I
true.
don't like that. I don't like that. This semifinal is
Argentina versus Brazil in the semi-final.
this is
Oh my god.
this is the semifinal that everyone, not only us as football fans, like everyone in the world want to watch this.
Yeah.
This is history. This is
This is everything
rivalry.
that football is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
This is
and
football, yeah.
even more because there are two cultures that loves to play football, but not in the same way. They even though they are the same level of passion, they are
Yeah.
not the same kind of passion.
And they hate playing against each other. or they love playing against each other and hate each
They
other.
have a
It's
this a love-hate relationship.
yeah,
As I will say even more than France against England.
yeah. Oh, definitely. This is football heritage.
Yeah.
Argentina,
So
Brazil.
I
I
would. This is hard for me to predict. Anything can happen, but
yeah,
I would say the same um, train of thoughts that I said for Argentina in the same regard as Spain. I think Brazil has more depth.
mhm,
If Brazil needs to score goals, they have goals in the bench. If
yeah,
they need to lock and park the balls, they have the players. I think Argentina has not that much.
yeah.
I,
Rodrigo de Paul definitely looks like he does. He shouldn't start for Argentina. It's the sad truth, but yeah, man. I think that's it for Argentina. Messi missing out on the last chance to get a World Cup. Sad,
yeah,
but it's the truth.
sad for a very part of the world. I I would not be sad. I'm sorry.
Sad for a lot of fans.
Yeah, sad for Argentina,
Yeah,
and but if we are rooting for Brazil to win the World Cup, so we have
yeah,
to be consistent. So,
we are.
like,
Yeah,
you think 1-2?
but yeah, it will be close. Probably like three, maybe. But yeah, realistically two, because that's the
Yeah, you
way
can
things are.
three.
But I want three. I want three goals from Brazil. I want them to send Argentina home properly. France versus Portugal. Cristiano following Messi out in the semis to set up a France Brazil final, or Cristiano getting a chance at the big one. I think France win. It's closer than we admit, but
Yeah,
it's on paper it's actually not. France have to win against Portugal. It's one of those things. But then the
yeah,
Euros showed us that Portugal can do a madness. So yeah,
yeah. And they have this motivation, in the same regard as you said, like Messi for Argentina, Portugal with Cristiano. For me, it could it's a semi-final. In the same what we talk about Argentina and Brazil, it's the semi-final. I think. Uh, I mean, we're speculating, but I think France is gonna be much tired than Germany. Than Portugal.
but then France has, I mean, counterpoint. France has more quality in their depth than Portugal does.
If I mean, I would say no at this point because if we saw France has already lost like 3 players or 4 players at this point,
Hmm.
we don't know if I think Hernandez is out. Obviously, I think if something happens to Chouameni, hope not,
Oh,
that
then
would be
it's
the end of
done. That is done for France. Then yeah, without a proper
even though,
CDM, they're hopeless.
but in the same regard, they could say the same as for Bruno.
Yeah,
So you say France move along.
I do. Yeah,
Yeah, put it like 2-2, and then for the penalty shootouts.
yeah. Penalty
And
shootout
what do you think? 4-3?
4-3 probably because France has more, and also Adrian Rabiot has been balling. So yeah, maybe we don't go into the penalty shootout at all. But yeah, Argentina versus Portugal for third place.
I don't care. Well,
The
I said I
world,
don't care. It's Messi against
the
Cristiano.
world cares because it's Messi against Cristiano for the last time.
the last round. This could potentially work.
This could actually
Uh,
work, yeah. And it would be one of the most watched games in the whole tournament.
yeah, yeah. Probably in the same level of the final for the first time ever.
Absolutely, yeah.
So I I'm sorry, Jadu, I'm gonna say Portugal because I want my boy to beat Messi in his final game. So
Just the crowning glory, you know. You know what? I want it to happen.
like 1-6 goals for Cristiano. All time goal scorer.
I'll meet you halfway. Cristiano hat trick, a header, a free kick, and a penalty. How about that?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, Portugal third place, oh, beating
This,
Argentina.
this would be the clip for the reels.
Yeah, yeah, man. We're cutting this and we're shipping this. All right, we are predicting our final to be Brazil versus France. That's what we think. Who do you think will win? We'll get to all the other goals and everything later. Who do you think will win, Javier? Who do you think will be crowned world champions on 18th of December?
The World Cup champion and the champion for their impressive sixth time will be Brazil.
Hey, vamos! Come on. Well done, Brazil.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the same. Yeah. Brazil versus France. Brazil wanted more. And Neymar for Ballon d'Or. Could happen.
but I will go even more Real Madrid fan that I am, and I expect a Vini's goal in the final.
Oh, that would be amazing. Can you imagine a Rodrigo goal? Because did you see the clip of him with Ronaldo?
Yeah, yeah,
Stretching
yeah.
his legs, just getting the
Yeah,
magic.
he was asking to pass a little of his magic.
Yeah, if Mr. UCL becomes Mr. World Cup and he scores in the 80th minute, in the 88th minute to get Brazil the sixth World Cup, sensational.
I
Whoa,
I mean, any I think we're if Benzema was in the pitch, we probably are a little more like we said.
involved.
I think we predict this in when we all came together. This final, and we are saying like this is potentially the game that has more Real Madrid players. We
Facing
expect
off
like
against each other, yeah.
and Eduardo and Vini Militao and Rodrigo.
Hmm.
But as it seems now, it's gonna be probably Vini, Militao, and Rodrigo against Chouameni. So I think I want a Vini goal to score because it will be I don't know in God knows how much time the Real Madrid player to score in the Champions League final and a World Cup final in the same year.
Mm.
So
Wow,
just
crazy.
imagine that the if he's not confident enough, yeah, if he's not already the star of Real Madrid, imagine this. You can say anything that you want
Yeah.
for Mbappe. Mbappe
Hmm.
is great. He's won the World Cup. He's got a goal in a World Cup. But Bini could potentially, if everything can happen, could
UCL
potentially do the
final,
goal
World
in the
Cup
Champions.
final.
So,
Crazy stuff. Yeah. Scoreline,
so what
Javier.
do you think? I predict a crazy scoring final, like the same for Croatia and France. Almost, like very high scoring final.
Yeah. I want it to happen, you know, a proper end. Instead of like the UCL finals where we aren't involved, it's always boring.
Yeah,
It's like 1-0, 2-1, or it's just two. There's nothing in the first half. That won't happen in Brazil versus France. Uh, I expect something like 4-3 or even 4-2, and Brazil to finally get the winner through Vinny.
4-2 sounds good.
There you go. Ooh, 4-2. And world champion 2022, Brazil. There you go. All right, boys and girls. Thank you for joining us today. We'll be back on Thursday with Farouk and Doris, and they'll be here talking about the games that have gone through. These are our predictions for now. You can let us know what you think. Let us know if we did well. We'll come back to this obviously later. And any thoughts before we end, Javier?
No, just if you are watching this and you want to support us, subscribe, give us a like. We're trying our best to get this 1K subscribers. And we need you guys. I know that we said it every show. Every like counts, every share counts. So hope you enjoy our content and nothing much to say, Jadu.
Yeah, also check out our partners, Real Madrid Committee. They've always been there for us on Instagram. Link in the description as always. Let them know that we sent you. And take care and peace. A la Madrid.
A la Madrid.